Hello everyone. I will be speaking upon uh, how did we use SSTable immutability for incremental backup. A disclaimer here is that uh, I'm not going to talk about the backup uh, incremental backup provided by Cassandra. It's just kind of a tweak in the full backup we did for getting the similar results. So before going to how we should say why we are doing that. So we have a use case that which requires us to keep two backups at a time. So we should have enough space to keep two backups in our backup disk space. So uh, generally we dimension the product like that only, but over the period of time, the data disk fills up and so this use case we were not able to fulfill for one of the customer. Uh, so now at runtime we have to solve the problem. So what we thought that we asked the customer to either uh, increase the disk space or find a solution to fit 2x data in 1.5 disk space. So what we did that we started looking out for the solution because the customer declined to increase the data disk size. So we saw the data SSTables, and we found that old SSTables were of very large size and they were quite old, and so uh, we identified that most of the data is again copied in the second backup. So we now knew that we don't need to copy the complete data. So before going to the solution, we'll see what are the SS tables. SS tables are the files which Cassandra stores data from the table. Uh, SS table is created result of a flashing of mem table and compaction process. They are immutable, so once written, they will not be updated till the compaction is over. And they have a format, version, generation ID, format, component, and text. The generation ID is basically used for uh, differentiating the SS tables. So this is the part which we should keep in mind, that generation ID. And how the Cassandra backup process, we take it the full backup, we just trigger the node tool snapshot command, and it creates a snapshot on all the nodes. What node should snapshot is basically it creates a hard link of all the SS tables in your, a parallel directory to the your within your tables directory. So it will be the hard links are just basically a link to the existing file inode. So they do not take much space, and they are created pretty fast. So we use this both concept, the immutability of SS tables and hard links for solving our problem. So what we did, basically we created a backup first, the full backup, and before taking the second backup, we created another directory in the backup directory called backup 2, for example. And we just hard linked all the SS tables from backup 1 to the backup 2. And then before taking the backup 2, means before triggering the backup 2 from the real data directory, what we did, now we have backup 1 and backup 2, which are quite similar. So when we trigger the backup 2 from the data directory, what we make sure that we did not copy the files already in the backup 2, and we removed the files which were not in the data directory. So now backup 2 was the actual full backup, but kind of an delta backup. So we saved the space using this process, and this speeded up our backup process, because now we could do it, we have to copy only 5% or 10% of data for each incremental backup, and we have a multiple backup copies can be kept, and all copy can act as a full backup in itself. So Cassandra 4.1 has introduced a feature which can be used to enhance this feature, which is global unique identifiers. So we can have earlier the SS tables were incremented in their uh, 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 wave by the Cassandra. So, but that was, if you terminate the truncate the table, the numbers will be, generation ID will be again repopulated. So that may create a problem. So now you can use a enable unique identifiers in SSTable, so that can help in basically uh, uh, overcoming this problem, that you will always have a unique SSTable identifiers for
Oh,
your Cassandra SSTables. So this
alrighty.
feature can also be used for
Thanks for that,
Cassandra
Manish.
4.1.
Unfortunately, it is a lightning talk, so we do have to cut you off there. But no, thanks so much for covering that. It was really
Thank
awesome to
you.
hear about the incremental backup process there. So thanks so much for presenting and covering that topic.